Welcome to In 5 Minutes. Now I'll see a new concept, structure as function parameter. When we define a function, we can have parameters for the function. The parameters to the functions can be of any C data type. It can be primitive types like int, float, or it can be pointers type. It can be even array types, as you have seen in some previous programs. Even function parameter can be a structure type also. So we can first define a structure type, that is user defined data type, and then we can mention that structure type as a function parameter, and while calling a function obviously we need to pass parameter as a structure type. So the function parameter should be of structure data type, and the actual parameter that we are passing to the function while calling the function should be also of type structure. Now let's see this with some simple demonstration example. Here we have struct demo, so obviously struct demo is a user defined type. Now we can use struct demo to define a simple variable, to define an array, to define a pointer, or we can use structure demo as a data type for a function parameter. Now take an example of a function with name sum. If I need this function to take integer parameter, I write data type as int and name as some name a. If I need to take this function as a array as a parameter, I can write over here int some array name and box bracket to mention array as a parameter. Same way, if I want this function to take a structure as a parameter, I have to mention the structure data type. For example, here I can write struct demo and some name, let's say d. So when the function will be called, we need to pass a structure demo variable type as a parameter. Now what I want to do over here in this function is this structure d will be combination of a and b. So when the function will be called, it will receive some values over here, let's say 5 and 2.5. What I want to perform is I want to add these values and display the sum. Now to add these values, I'll define over here one float variable, some name s. In that s, I want to get the addition of these two. So I'll add it as d.a plus d.m. So it is 5 and 2.5 added and stored into s, and then that sum will print using common printf command. Let's write sum is equal to %f/n. Here I'll display s. Now that is how I can define a function with a structure as a parameter. Now how to call it from main? To call it from main, we write void main. Now obviously since we want to call this function and give it a structure as a parameter, we need to have a structure variable in main. So in main, first we define m as a structure variable. Obviously it will have its own a and b members. Then we'll write printf and scanf to input data for m.a and m.b. So suppose the input was 5 and 2.5. We input the data. Now we want to call this function, some function, and give it a parameter of type structure demo. So here while calling a function, I have to write function name in bracket the actual parameter name, that is here I'll mention m. So when the function will be called, m will be passed to d, so d will receive the values which are stored in m, that is 5 and 2.5. Here s will be defined as a new variable. In s we'll get the sum of d.a and d.m, and then we can display the sum. We can have one structure as parameter, we can have two structures as parameters, or we can have structure as parameter plus some integer plus some float as parameters. So we can have any combination, but just see the syntax. We need to write structure type space variable name as a parameter, as we do normally in case of int, float, char parameters. Now while calling a function, we need to pass structure as a parameter. So this variable that you're passing as a parameter over here should be of type structure demo, that is same kind of parameter. Thank you.